Hey, hello everybody. Okay, listen, I'm going to show you a real nice beef pot pie, okay? I didn't have any corn and peas yesterday, but I went to the store today and I got some. And you want this to get cold anyway, all right? What this is this is a chuck roast, all right, that I cut up, I diced up small, and I browned the beef. And then it has onions, celery, and carrots, and mushrooms that are sauteed. All right, they're caramelized. And that's added to the beef, and then some water is added in, and some beef base. And then I thickened it with roux, all right? Oh, there's also one potato chopped up real small in there. Okay, so I'm gonna add the corn and the peas. I just went to the store. I didn't have any of these yesterday. But that's okay, because like I said, you want to cook this the day before. You want this to be cold. You don't want it to be hot when you add it to the pie dough. Okay, so here you go. This is the filling, you know. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna set that in the refrigerator. Okay, here's the pie dough I'm going to use right here. Okay, this is the cream cheese pie dough. I'll leave a link to the recipe. I'll leave the link in the description box. All right, so I'm going to cut this into thirds. Now this is also cold. I made this morning and I put it in the refrigerator. For what, 5-6 hours. Okay, now look, I didn't have any all-purpose flour when I made the pie dough. All I had was this stuff here. It's cake flour. All right. Now the only difference between this and regular flour is that this stuff here is made from it's from a grain that doesn't have a lot of gluten. Okay, and I'm looking to see what else is in here, and that's about it. It does not contain baking powder or salt or cornstarch. Okay, so it's basically flour, but it's made from a strain of flour that doesn't have a lot of gluten. And when you're making cake, you don't really want gluten. You don't want a high content of gluten because the gluten will, make the dough tough. I mean, gluten literally means glue. So you don't want that when you're making cake. Now, I never made pie dough from this stuff. I have never made pie dough from cake flour. I've used a lot of cake flour, of course, making cake, but I've never made pie dough using a low gluten flour. So this is going to be something new. All right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to roll it out. Now, like I said, what the heck was I going to say? I forgot. I don't know. And I tell you, it sucks getting old. If you can avoid getting old, please do it. Take my word for it. It's really not cool. Okay, so here we go. I've got these little bread pans. These things here, you can pick them up at Walmart. They're like $1.25 for 5 of them. It's perfect. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're not going to cover the whole thing with the pie dough. It's not going to be it's not going to be like the pot pies you buy in the store. Okay, I'm just going to put pie dough on the sides of the whatchamacallit. So in other words, there's going to be two sides that don't have pie dough on it. Okay, so, and also I'm going to piece a lot of this together. Okay, you really should try this though. Man, is it good. Woo, I'm telling you. All right, so basically that's going to get folded over and cut off. Like I said, I never made pie dough out of cake flour. I hope this works. That's all I can say. I really do hope it works, because man, that chuck roast was 16 bucks. You know, I tell you, man, beef is like gold nowadays. Okay, all right. The recipe for the pie dough is very simple. It's 2 cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter cut into little small cubes. The butter has to be cold. It's cut in little small cubes, and 8 ounces of cream cheese. All right. And that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 teaspoon of salt. But there's no adding any water to it. You know, that was always my biggest problem with pie dough, was trying to figure out if I had the right amount of water. See, and flour is strange. Flour is weird stuff. Flour will absorb the humidity in your house. So it's very hard to deal with that when you're making pie dough, because the flour might have a high content of moisture in it, and here you are, you're trying to add a couple drops of ice water. You know, it's really a pain. So anyway, with this recipe, you don't need to do that. All you need, like I said, is 2 cups of flour. Now, I'm not going to say cake flour, because this hasn't, I don't know if this is going to come out or not. I don't know, but we might be able to use cake flour. 2 cups of flour, 8 ounces of cream cheese, and 2 sticks of butter. And the butter you cut in little tiny cubes. Make sure the butter's ice cold, you know. I actually take it from the freezer and then I cut it into cubes. Take a look at the recipe for the pie dough. You'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, now what I did here was I didn't use 2 sticks of butter. What I did was I used 1 stick of butter. That's 4 ounces. And then I used 4 ounces of coconut oil. You know, coconut oil comes in, you know, it comes in a jar. Here, wait, I'll show you. It's in the oil section of the store. And here, this is it. That's it. It's coconut oil. Okay? And what it looks like, it just looks like, you know, it's kind of thick. So I used 4 ounces of this. I used 1 stick of butter. And I used 1 package of cream cheese. Now 1 package is 8 ounces. Okay? And, you know, I know that recipe sounds weird. I know it does. But I got to tell you something. This is the best pie dough you can imagine, and I kid you not. I wouldn't tell you something that ain't the truth. That pie dough is dynamite. It's flaky. It has a little bit of the cream cheese flavor. It's perfect. I mean, it really is perfect. You put it into the mixer until it's incorporated, and that's it, and stop it, and you're good to go. All right, so hold on one second. We're almost done here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Now I'm going to put a top on the pot pies, but I'm not going to do, you know, all the sides. You don't need it. All right. Okay, this stuff here in this pot, all this is one chuck roast cut into small pieces. Then I sauteed onions, and garlic, and celery and carrots, okay, and mushrooms. Make sure you caramelize the mushrooms. It's important to caramelize the mushrooms because they're going to give you a real nice taste, the caramelized mushrooms. All right, then, and one potato. One regular russet potato, peeled and diced. The potato, you can barely see it. It kind of, you know, it kind of dissolved, you know. All right, then what I did was I boiled the whole mixture for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. And then I thickened it with roux. Now, if you don't know what roux is, you're not really cooking if you don't know what roux is. You have to have roux, I'm telling you. Roux is a staple of the kitchen. You have to have roux. That's all that's to it. There's no substitute. You know, you can thicken stuff with cornstarch, but you're not going to get the results that you want. Believe me, you got to have roux. All right, so anyway, here we go. All right, now all I'm going to do now is just cover them. I'm just going to piece this together to cover everything, and that's it. Then I'm going to wrap them up and I'm going to freeze them. Believe me, this stuff is the best. I'm not kidding you. You don't have to poke the tops, you know, to make a hole. I mean, you can decorate them if you want. That's totally up to you. But you don't have to. You know, you don't have to poke them to let the steam out because they're not completely sealed. Like a, you know, like a pot pie you buy in the store. And what's good about making pot pie is you can put as much meat as you want. You know, what I found is the ones you buy in the store, man, you know, you're lucky if there's 2 chunks of meat. All the rest is, you know, just filler. Okay, now listen. I'm not going to cook any of these today. I'm going to freeze these. However, I have one in the oven that I made the last time I made pot pies. I have one in the oven. I wanted to use up the old ones first. You know, it was in the freezer. And I wanted to use those up first instead of making one of these. But what I can do is the next time I make one of these, I'll make a short video of it, you know, just to show you. But the one that I have in the oven, you know, you're going to see what they look like when they come out. Now I can already tell that this dough is going to be flaky because you can see the little chunks of butter in there. You know, you can see the little small pieces of the coconut oil. You know, if you get coconut oil cold, it solidifies. It's, you know, just like butter. All right, there you go. Now you could brush them. You could brush them with you know, an egg, or not. You know, it's totally up to you. I'm not brushing these. I'm just going to leave them. I'm curious to see how the cake flour is going to turn out. But like I said, I don't want to cook one of these yet because I still had one more in the freezer. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to wrap them up and I'm going to put them in the freezer, and man, I'll tell you what, woo woo, I guarantee this stuff is good. Okay, I'll see you all later. Okay, here you go, everybody. It's been about a week since I made these. I put them in the freezer, and I'm going to cook one today. So here's what you do. You want to give it a little spray of the stuff, the grease, you know, the oil, just so that the tin foil doesn't stick. Cover them with a tin foil. I put them in the toaster oven at about 375 to 400, somewhere in there. I can't really tell how hot my toaster oven is. I can't tell how hot my toaster oven is because the numbers are they're worn off. All right, so I'm going to say it's somewhere between 375 and 400. I don't know, somewhere in there. Okay, I'm going to put it in for 1 hour with the lid on, and I'll come back later and we'll check on it. Okay, hold on. Okay.
A superior form of backlash designed for piercing. Their bows are composites made of wood, sinew, and bone. Sent arrows streaming
That was 1 hour.
But their most potent weapon was something new.
Alright, now we're going to put it in for another 30 minutes to brown the top.
The horse-drawn chariot, boots so smooth and fast, and wield their arms with deadly force. All Egypt paid obeisance to the foreigners, but with increasing...
Also turn the toaster oven up to 450. Okay, I'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay folks, here we go. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. 1 hour with tin foil on top and 30 minutes without. Also, I turned it up to about 450 for that last 30 minutes. Woo, man, this is good stuff. Oh, brother. I tell you what, it doesn't get any better than this. I'm serious. And also, that's the pie dough that the swan. Wait a minute, what's it called?
It was his master, Amenhotep III, the ninth pharaoh of the New Kingdom, who would reap the greatest harvest.
It's called Swan's Down. It's cake flour, okay? It's cake flour, not all-purpose. So there we go. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right there. Okay, I'm gonna see you guys later. I gotta go. I gotta eat.